Well, I come from a psychic family. I come from a long line of gifted psychics, 400 years in fact. I mean, my mother is psychic, my grandmother is psychic, my uncle was a tarot reader and astrologer, and my great-great-grandmother, my great-grandmother. I mean, I come from a family of psychics, and it's something that I've always known, but I've got to say, I believe that everybody is psychic. Everyone has the gift of second sight and has the ability to feel, sense and see energies.
You talk about your ancestry there. Whereabouts is that going back to? What country?
Well, it goes back to a few. On my mother's side, her father is Italian, and my grandmother, my Nana Lucy, is Austrian. So it goes back into Europe.
So do you think that may come from the gypsies?
A little bit. Well, you know, I have some very fond memories and stories of when I was growing up. My nan would often tell me the stories of how the gypsies lived next door. And but see, her mother, so my great-grandmother, read playing cards. And we now know today that they often call that Lenormand, reading the Lenormand cards, where they use 36 playing cards. And so she read cards, whereas my nan actually taught me to read the tea leaves. So from the age of 6, I actually begun to read tea leaves. And it was through reading the tea leaves that I found that my intuition became a lot more clearer for me. And it wasn't until I was about 12 I was given my first set of tarot cards, and they had belonged to my uncle, and he was he's departed, but he was a very well-known and accomplished astrologer and card reader in his local community. And I've been reading the cards ever since, and it's through reading the cards and the tea leaves and coming from that psychic family that I found that hearing the world of spirit has been a lot more easier for me in many respects. I find I'm just natural at being able to have a conversation with the other side.
So you grew up always believing that you had a gift?
Constantly. I grew up my whole life believing. I mean, I always say I was sort of, I was born in a family where I was taught that we don't have 5 senses, we have 6. And the 6th sense is really, you know, the first and most important sense that we can have. You know, in my family, you know, we'll put it this way, in families, they often say, you know, if you don't play sport or have a hobby, you're a little bit strange. Well, in my family, if you didn't see the other side, you're a little bit unusual. So I am very fortunate to have come from a psychic family in that regard. But I was never, I want to say I was to the people, I was never really ever encouraged to develop my ability, and I was never disencouraged. It was just left to become what it is today.